What's up, everybody? You're back in here with the Pro Football Pod. Our faces are back on the screen. You've got Coach down here. Austin is over there. Your boy Hulk's right here. What's up, fellas? We got a 2-round mock draft with trades, our final mock draft before the official NFL draft happens on Thursday. I'm freaking psyched.
Make sure if you're
quick.
watching the draft on Thursday that you join in with the Pro Football Pod while we give you a live reaction to everything that's going on while we're drafting.
If they subscribe and hit the notification bell, they'll get noties when we're live and when episodes drop.
Big brain. I think that we should just jump right in right now.
Oh, just dive in.
Diving in. First pick off the board. Everyone's surprised. Caleb Williams has been guaranteed to go number 1 just like this whole time. He is. He's going to go. The Bears.
So that's a lock? So you're saying that's a lock?
It's a
That's
lock.
an absolute lock.
Put-
I believe
put
it was
10 grand
odds
on it.
or
Put 10
minus
grand on it.
50,000.
Put 10 grand on it so you can win your like $5.
$5.
Seriously.
Yeah.
So
Literally, I don't even think
paints his
those people have
fingernails
it on the
gold.
board anymore
All right.
because it's just pointless.
So moving on,
don't like that on the
Washington is now
quarterback.
on the clock. What are we thinking at number 2?
So I've been Jaden Daniels trained basically this whole time at number 2. But after hearing rumblings and seeing what's been going on
I saw
Twitter
that.
here after that meeting where they had 4 quarterbacks in on the same day, he thought he was going to be the only one. It was kind of like an alpha test. Like, is this going to bother you, or are you good with competing and stuff? Took them all to Top Golf, little fun, but still get a gauge on their competition level there. And for me, and from everything else I'm hearing right now, I think the pick's going to be Drake May. So we're going Drake May at number 2.
I kind of agree. More complete, total passer. He still has the legs. I know Austin wants JJ there, but he's going to get his chance to take JJ.
That's just not
right
happening.
here.
I didn't want JJ there.
That's just not happening.
I don't think so
I
either.
think that Drake May is a better fit for this team, for the Washington.
I mean, they do have a receiving core already, so I agree with you. Like, they're not like in massive need like the Patriots are.
And Cliff Kingsbury can do some things there with Drake May. I mean, he was able to make Kyler a fantasy relevant and almost an MVP caliber quarterback there. So, yeah, that's why I went with it. Austin, you're on the clock at number 3. You taking the pick or you trading it? What's happening here? You got Jaden Daniels, you got JJ on the board.
I show
Yeah.
8 people that want to trade for this pick, including 5, 6, 12, 22, 29, 30, 32, and 54.
Who's best offer?
Austin, you can look at that. Just click on trade. And you
sorry,
make
sir.
the trade offers.
Sorry,
But I'm just
sir.
saying
you said,
there
you
are
said that
eight.
you saw.
Well, I
Don't
do
even-
see 8.
We can force
Yeah.
the trade, so don't even look
didn't
at it.
see
Who
it.
do you think would make the trade up here into this spot? Because you've got Jaden Daniels and JJ McCarthy on the board. I think personally, if Jaden Daniels is on the board, I wouldn't be shocked to see him go to New England at 3. But I don't think anybody knows what New England is doing.
No.
So all bets are off here. So it's whatever you're feeling.
It's one of the worst picks to have in our situation. I'll just have them taking Jaden Daniels here because
I like
that's
that.
what consensus feels like around the. If Caleb's going first overall, this has got to be a lock too.
So there are 9
Yeah,
teams
the
trying to
talent's there.
trade into 4, including Minnesota at 11. I think that because they can offer the most, that's what we're going to do. We're going to have them trading up. They're going to give 11 and 23 for 4, 63%
And that gives
chance.
Arizona 3 first-round picks in this draft.
Yes,
And
which they're going to do a lot with. I think they already have their franchise quarterback. They do need to get a receiver, but they're going to get one at 11, and they could trade up into like 8 or 7 if 2 of them go. So we're going to offer the trade. Minnesota accepts, and Minnesota.
11 and 23 for 4, just for the sake of this draft here.
Exactly.
All right.
And then JJ is going off the board at 4. I think that he adds a lot of the things that O'Connell needs from a quarterback. He's not just a game manager. He is a playmaker, and he's got people to make plays with. So he's going to be solid just like he was in Michigan. So 5 is on the clock.
So at 5, this was going to be a prime trade out spot for me. And it very honestly could still be because Marvin Harrison is going to garner a lot of attention as far as a trade goes here.
Yes.
So because of all of that and because they're not having to give up very much, what we're going to do is we're going to take the Bears at number 9,
Okay.
and the Bears are going to come up and they're going to get 5, and we're going to do 5. We're going to do 5, and let's see, the Chargers are moving back. The Bears have 9. Can't really give up more this year. Bears have virtually no picks, but they
give up
pull this trade
75
off.
and 122, it's saying that it'll get offered.
So no, that what we're gonna do is 9, and if you do a second rounder next year, the trade would get accepted. So we're gonna do 9 and 5 for the sake of just this draft. Force it if you need to. Bears come up. They're not worried about their picks because what they did in free agency, Marvin Harrison comes off the board at 5. The Bears pull kind of what the Texans did last year with taking CJ Stroud and coming right back up and take Will Anderson Jr.
Yeah.
Bears fans would just poop their pants all over just anywhere they're standing.
I mean, they've got DJ Moore, Marvin Harrison, and Keenan Allen. That is the best receiving core in the league immediately.
And the way I see it is Joe Alt is still on the board, which I don't think he will be. The Chargers can take him, or you're still in a spot to trade back again if you don't want Brock Bowers and you want somebody to jump the Jets for him. Also, Rome Odunze might be on the board. So to me, I love the trade for the Chargers, love the trade for the Bears. Austin, you've got the Giants. What do you think they're doing here?
They are going with Rome Odunze. It's a solid fit for their system.
Agreed.
Guy.
I think that Malik Neighbors is phenomenal, probably the best receiving prospect, but the fact that Rome...
We've discussed this so many times.
It gives them things that they don't have.
He would be immediately the best well-rounded receiver on their entire squad, and he makes everybody else on their team able to fit into their roles better. So I love that pick.
Titans have a huge need at offensive line in general, not even just like tackle or interior. Like they just need offensive linemen. I think that taking Joe Alt, being able to redo a little bit of like their, like they don't have the same coaching staff. They just kind of need to rebuild everything a little bit, and starting with the trenches is the best way to do that. Look at Motor City and what Dan Campbell has done. He built in the draft in the trenches in the first couple of picks of every round until he needed the skill position guys. But number 8, Falcons are on the clock.
All right, so Joe Alt goes at number 7 to the Titans. Falcons are on the clock. We have Malik Neighbors here and Brock Bowers, and with the Chargers sitting at 9 and the Jets coming at 10, Malik Neighbors is not going past them.
Yeah.
So what we're going to have at this point is the Arizona Cardinals with their number 11 pick are going to come back up, and they're going to trade 11 for 8. And they're going to trade 11 and 66 for 8. We're going to force that trade.
Okay.
Because there's going to be more thrown in there, but for the sake of this, because we're just doing the first 2 rounds, that's all I'm concerned with.
Yeah.
And so the Cardinals are coming back up, and the Cardinals are taking Malik Neighbors at 8.
And they're going to get the best receiver in the class at 8. That's
and
crazy.
Before the Chargers can take him, and definitely before the Jets can take him. So Malik Neighbors goes at 8 to the Cardinals. The Falcons are now picking at number 11. They also picked up 66 for us in the second or third round there. And then, Austin, you're on the board now with the Chargers at number 9.
Yeah.
Tricky.
What is it, a tackle?
I think it's either offensive tackle or tight end, like because Brock Bowers is on the board here.
I mean, if you look, there are some people trying to trade up to this pick because you don't have to take a tackle right now. You could wait another 4 or 5. I think some of these skill position and cornerbacks are going to start going pretty soon. A couple of these edges as well. Latu also super climbed on the new update from PFF and their rankings. He's above Dallas Turner. He's above Jared Verse. Like, he's way up here at number 10 ranked with 18.2 being his ADP.
You shut your mouth. I need him to fall to the Falcons at number 11. No, so honestly, I think it's either Olu Fashanu, one of the tackles here. Olu Fashanu, I think, is probably the more just pure tackle for them. So it's Olu or Brock Bowers, in my opinion, but it's your pick.
You don't like Talise Fuago?
I do, but there's a lot of scouts that project him to be guard at the next level, as well as Troy Fountain now.
And their guards are dope.
Like,
they
they're
really just need a
versatile,
right tackle.
but they're versatile, but that's where they're more projected.
Let's go with Brock Bowers. He kind of fell to them.
I like that.
I mean, they trade back and they're able to still take Brock Bowers at 9 before the Jets pick at 10. Like, I don't think Chargers fans are mad.
You got to get him once.
Yeah, you traded away all your wide receivers. The top 3 wide receivers are gone here for you. Yeah, you passed on the chance of Marvin Harrison Jr., but I don't think Jim Harbaugh really cares about his wide receivers like that. He's more of a trenches guy. So I love the Brock Bowers pick. Coach, that puts you on the board at 10 with the Jets.
So the Jets are going to trade back because the top 3 receivers are all gone, and the guys that they want aren't going to be available yet. I think the best place for them to trade back, and a team that would be motivated to trade up for maybe a little defensive help, would be New Orleans. I think New Orleans needs some help. They're not having to trade up too much, but they're able to jump the Falcons to potentially get some help on their defensive line. And they're going to trade 14 and 45. No, we'll call it 150.
Realistically, it'd probably be 14, 150, and then like a round 2 or something for next year.
But 14, 150 will work for now. So we're going to offer it. It gets accepted. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to draft Latu. We are going to jump. I honestly think Dallas Turner is probably the best prospect, but it was only because of his combine that everyone's so high on him. Whenever you look at Latu, he still has the physical specimen. He also has the stats behind it.
Latu's a freak, bro.
He's a freak of nature. Like, he's the next Jalen Phillips.
He's my favorite of the edge rushers. So, like, yeah. I mean, I hate you for it because I really wanted it on the next one here, but cool. I respect it. Whatever. All right, so Latu to the Saints at number 10. We've got the Falcons at 11. They're going to stay put right here and take Quinyon Mitchell.
Great pickup. After the Senior Bowl, this guy's
gives
like
AJ Terrell help on the other side. In my opinion, it's either him or Terry and Arnold. Pick your flavor. Quinyon's more my flavor. I like him for that defense. Raheem Morris, defensive-minded head coach, coming in. Typically, most of the time, GMs will give that head coach his pick in the first round there. So that's what we're going with. Quinyon at 11. Austin, you're on the board at 12 with the Broncos.
Yeah, they're going to be trading back. They ain't no quarterbacks that they need right now.
So who's trading up?
True. They still have got Terry and Arnold, Dallas Turner, some edge rushers on the board here, corners. So who they trading with?
They'll be trading with the Cowboys.
Cowboys coming up.
Yes, sir.
You heard it here first. Austin thinks the Cowboys are getting spicy.
It says that they could trade 87 and it'll get accepted 100%. If they trade 24 and 87 for 12.
That's wild.
Right. I don't think that that'll actually get accepted.
It's honestly like the pick value, though, once you get out of the top 10, drops drastically. It drops
so much, yeah.
So, okay, Cowboys trading 24 and 87 for 12.
What'd you say, Austin?
Scratch that. Scratch it. Scratch that.
Okay, so who's trading up?
No trade.
No trade?
Yeah, no trade.
Who are we drafting?
We're going edge.
We're going to go, who? Dallas Turner,
Jared Verse.
Jared Verse?
Yeah, Jared Verse.
Jared Verse. Okay. Spicy.
We're going Jared Verse over Dallas Turner at pick number 12. All right.
Pick is in. So do you want to explain that at all, Austin? Why you like Jared Verse over them?
Yeah, I just like him over, I just like him better. He's a better athlete. Coming out of Florida, not Alabama, boy.
Heard.
Great analysis. All right. Pick number 13. You've got the Vegas Raiders on the clock. Where are we leaning here, Coach?
So they have a lot of needs kind of across the board. O-line, defensive interior, cornerback, running back, linebacker. So I think that Terry and Arnold would be a phenomenal pickup for them. They could potentially trade back here, but I just don't see... Like, there's some teams that want to trade up, but with them having so many needs, trading back to get a quarterback later, I think that they could trade up in the early second, and that would make more sense, or trade up like at the end of the first. So we're gonna go Terry and Arnold right here for the Raiders.
Okay.
So Jets are on the clock at 14.
Jets are on the clock at 14. I've got the Jets pick here. I felt like you tried to move back here because you still were targeting maybe one of the wide receivers like
That's
Brian
exactly
Thomas,
what
Aiden
it was.
Mitchell.
But taking him at 10 didn't make
But
a lot of sense.
And see, with Mike Williams, granted, if he stays healthy, and you've got
Big if.
Garrett Wilson, and there's still some guys out there on the free agent market. Jets fans are going to hate me here, but if you big brain this, it's the smartest move because your offensive tackles are not playing the full season. It will not happen. So we're bringing in, because this is a steal at this spot, we're bringing in Olu Fashanu from Penn State at offensive tackle. Tyron Smith and Morgan Moses are not getting any younger. Tyron Smith, if anything, maybe has 1 or 2 seasons left in him. Probably the same window as Aaron Rodgers for you. This guy gives you depth and also sets you up for the future. You can hate me now, but you'll love me later for this pick. Colts are on the clock at 15. Austin, what are you thinking here?
Hey, man. Cooper DeJean just sitting there pretty for us.
Yeah, they need
Cooper
defensive
here.
backs.
I would definitely go Cooper for the Colts. I love that for them.
With Terry and Arnold and Quinyon Mitchell both being gone and the versatility Cooper gives you, I'm not mad at it. I love Cooper DeJean. The last Iowa Hawkeye that played for them that was a versatile DB, Bob Sanders, little throwback for all you guys out there in your 30s. I'm not mad at it at all. So Cooper DeJean here at pick number 15 for him.
Yep. So the Seahawks are running to the podium because Dallas Turner is still there at 16, and they're gonna take what they got. I mean, he was the best combine performance on the defensive side, like hands down across the board. So we're going Dallas Turner. For the size, he gives you such athleticism. It's a huge need at edge for them. They don't really have much of a pass rush as of right now. So we got Jaguars on the clock at 17.
So Jaguars on the clock at 17 here. In my opinion, one of their bigger needs is especially at DB, and with seeing, the top 3 DBs coming off the board here, it absolutely is just punching them in the stomach. They probably should have maybe attempted to trade up. Edge, they've got Travon Walker and that they just drafted a couple years ago, and Josh Allen. Don't necessarily see the edge, especially with those top guys off the board here. So it may seem like a slight reach to some people here. I wanted to go JPJ, but I do think he's falling from in this spot, and I think this is a spot here for Nate Wiggins. Yes, he's a little slender. Yes, he's a little undersized, but the dude is a burner, and for all 185 pounds of him, he'll give you everything he has. And
6'2",
I do like him more than I do like him more than Kool-Aid. And at 17, I think that's a pretty solid value for him at that spot. So it's a little bit of a reach, but
when you
they'll
look
get
at his
over it
grades,
eventually.
I mean, he's across the board phenomenal, and he's got the right size. He's a little bit slender, but they're going to work on that in the next couple of years. He could end up being
he's
a top
not going to
corner.
help you in the run defense necessarily, but your outside corners, how often are you actually asking them to do that?
Not very.
Especially nowadays.
So Austin, you got Bengals on the clock at 18. What are you thinking?
Who they gonna pick? J.C. Latham,
J.C. Latham.
Alabama tackle.
More of a tackle instead of the Troy Fontenot Talise Fuaga. I like that.
Yes, sir.
It's very simple. Joe Burrow's missed 2 seasons in his career so far that he didn't finish because of injury. You got to make sure that you fix that. He needs it. Needs it bad. That leaves the LA on the clock, and there are 3 teams that want to trade up. So we have Detroit, Arizona, and New England. And honestly, I really, really like New England trading up here. I know that they have a lot of needs, but being able to trade up and match their quarterback with his number 2 target in his career by trading 103 and 34 for 19 means that they get to take Brian Thomas Jr. before his projected pick at 20. And that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to go wide receiver, and they're going to just completely rely on the offense improving. They know that they have a defensive-minded coach that's going to be able to get the most out of his guys. But them trading up and getting Brian Thomas and matching him with Jaden Daniels just makes a lot of sense for me. I know that the Rams want to trade out of that pick and get more assets. They're probably going to get some day 3 stuff as well, or maybe a pick next year.
I'd say, 34, 68, and then probably like a round 2 pick for next year, maybe even a round 1, depending, because the Patriots are trading up from, the beginning of the first round, but you're coming up into right before the 20s. Yeah. So that is going to cost you a little bit. But for the sake of this, we'll do 34 and 68, force the trade.
Who did you take at number 2 overall, Justin?
Drake May.
Okay, you did go.
All right, so Patriots come up here for 34 and 68 to 19, and you said they're taking Brian Thomas Jr. to go with the quarterback.
Exactly.
I love that move. That's big brained right there. Like you said, they come up and they take the running mate. They need help at playmaker and wide receiver.
They absolutely need help. And this is a big time playmaker they're getting at 19. Not having, I think it's a huge move for their team's offense, which is their biggest weakness. Their defense was okay last year. Their offense was absolute garbage.
And honestly, they trade up before the Bills have a chance to as well to try to snag them. Now, A.D. Mitchell will still be on the board for them, hopefully at that point.
Yeah.
They might end up having to look at a trade up there. But regardless, let's see here. So I've got the Steelers on the clock here now. So Steeler fans did not like in our Steelers mock draft that we took Amarius Mims. They just absolutely did not like that pick. They said, "Oh, we should have went a million other places here." And I understand at this point you've got Kool-Aid McKinstry, you've got A.D. Mitchell on the board, you've got a number of offensive tackles still here for you. Cam Hayward is not getting any younger. I'm taking Jerry Newton.
Jerry Newton, okay.
At number 20. The Steelers, steel curtain. It's built on defense in Pittsburgh. Like I said, Cam Hayward's not getting any younger. Your defensive interior needs some help there. I think Jerry Newton at this spot for him would be a steal. It's not going to be the pick that gets Steelers fans super pumped, and they may come at me in the comments here. Honestly, keep bringing them. I love it.
All of the super helpful feedback that we've been getting with all of this detailed about you guys should have taken this guy doesn't exist. All we keep getting
no reason
is
why.
You suck. This was a horrible draft. We appreciate the feedback.
I love it.
Let's go ahead and move on. So Dolphins are on the clock, Austin. Don't fuck this up.
You say this every time, bro. And
we're scared. We're scared.
We are.
I don't know why you would.
I know who I want you to take at this spot.
Are you doubting my picks? Is that
I know who I want you to take at this spot.
Then why would you be scared? I know who I will be taking.
Who are you taking?
Don't worry about it. Sit back. Just sit back.
I'm doubting your pick here.
Just relax.
All right.
It's gonna be Byron Murphy, my guy. Coming out of Texas.
Murphy.
Come on now.
Now
boy.
that's not who I would have taken, but
we know that.
I'm not mad at it because we do need the help on the defensive interior. He's an elite defensive, easily him and Jerry Newton, top 2 defensive interior guys in this draft. They're going to end up going back to back here in this mock. I'm not mad at it, but I would be frustrated because I would have gone Graham Barton. I've just fallen it absolutely in love with the guy. He can play
Versatile
all five
offensive lineman.
It would have
positions.
been.
They could play
What about
everywhere.
next one?
Like Graham Barton would have been my pick here, and I think that would be something looking back. Like, yeah, Byron Murphy was nice, but man, this guy would have just solidified the line. So, but I'm not mad. You didn't go somebody like Jatavian Sanders, who I've seen mocked to the Dolphins in the first round here lately. Absolutely asinine. You're just begging for clicks. We don't clickbait out here. Eagles on the clock at 22. What you got, Coach?
So, with the Washington Commanders needing the type of offensive line help that they do, I think the Eagles don't really need to take anything out of this pick. So they're going to get 36 and 67 to trade up, to trade back, the Eagles are. And Washington's going to take Graham Barton right now. I think Graham Barton is... between him and Amarius Mims, it's difficult for sure. I think that because of them needing offensive line help in such a big way, that like we just said, Graham Barton is more versatile. So him getting them for the trade up is absolutely worth it. They're not like
they're trading 36 and 67. You said
exactly, and
all right.
They need to protect Drake May.
Bro, that's been some of the biggest rumblings I've been hearing lately is Washington coming back up for an offensive tackle, especially if they start to fall. And I just went on about Graham Barton, so I'm not going to do it again. So I love the pick.
Cardinals are at 23 though.
With Fuaga and Fatanu still being there, that is a little spicy. But
I think he's more versatile. Like we said earlier in the draft, those guys are more like guards. They're kind of like Jackson Powers Johnson. They're playing interior. Graham Barton.
Oh, okay.
I think Graham Barton is a bigger, more versatile player.
We've got Cardinals on the board here. They're also picking at 28 or 27. Let's see. So we've got Cowboys on the board. Don't think they're going to go wide receiver.
Cardinals.
No, I know. I'm looking after them. Cowboys after them. I don't think they're going wide receiver. Green Bay's not going to. They're not going to. Cardinals ended up coming back up for Malik Neighbors, so they're not going to. I'm looking at the Bills on needing a possible trade up for an AD Mitchell, but I think he's going to fall to him here. So we're going to bypass that. Cardinals got their wide receiver and Malik Neighbors. Now we're looking here more towards the offensive line, defensive backs. Kool-Aid McKinstry here. I think that's where we're going to lean because with Fuaga, Fatanu, and Mims all on the board, I don't think all three tackles are going before we pick again, but I do think Kool-Aid will go. Absolutely. So we're taking Kool-Aid here at 23.
I agree. They'll get their chance at one of those three guys or Jackson Powers Johnson at 27. Yep. So, might as well get the value while you can.
And the more premier position, if we're just being fully honest there. Yep. So, Austin, you've got your boys on the clock here. What are you thinking?
Yeah, we got to help out that line.
So many needs. So many needs. They wanted Byron Murphy or Jerry Newton to fall to them here at 24.
Yeah.
So way to crush your own dreams here at 3 picks ago.
Who wanted that?
The Cowboys, man.
The Cowboys would have taken it.
Defensive interior would have been. Oh, that would have been so good for them.
You got to keep some guys off your linebackers.
They said that they wanted those guys.
No, I'm saying they would have wanted those guys. Dudes are ballers. So what are you
I'm
looking
sure
at here for your
guys
boys?
in this draft? We're definitely going to go with Amarius Mims, tackle out of Georgia.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Fuaga and Fontenot are falling a little bit.
Yeah, I'm just gonna let it be known. I do not think either one of them fall this far in this draft at all.
I think Green Bay being on the clock that they're.
Well, there's certain things that like the Saints moving up for Latu. I think they would have been a team that would have taken one of those guys. The Jets could easily take one of those guys, and Olu could be here. There's certain little things that have affected the drop here, which, hey, that's the draft for you, baby. It happens every year.
They should be going with these next pick.
It happens
here.
every year.
That's what Green Bay's doing. Green Bay's
Yeah.
going Talisi Fuaga at 25. I mean,
Yeah.
I love it.
if you look at the grades right here, I mean, absolute monster in every single category. 6'6", 334, like total beast. So easy pick for them. We got the Bucks on the clock at 26.
So Bucks on the clock here at 26. They've got a good handful of needs now with the top edge guys being off the board. All the top corners being off the board here for us. This would be maybe a possible trade back spot.
Guard center is a pretty big need for them as well.
It is, and that's why I'm going Jackson Powers Johnson. We're gonna go ahead and go JPJ. Just solidify your O line a little more. You need the help, absolutely. Let's keep
Super
Baker healthy a little bit. And then you've got the Cardinals on the board here again at 27, and look who's still available for them. Troy Fatanu out of Washington.
Wait.
Austin, you're on the clock.
You're on the clock. You don't have to go.
No, who did
Fatanu.
Green Bay go with? I thought they just took
Talisi
Fatanu.
Fuaga from Oregon
Green
State.
Bay went
Fuaga.
Fuaga.
Yeah.
Did you select
I
the
got
wrong guy on your?
Yeah, Futanu.
All right. Well, if you
just-
end up picking, if
Fuaga.
you pick Fatanu on your board, then just pick Fuaga here for the Cardinals.
Is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
we're going Fatanu for the Cardinals, and to me, the Cardinals, if they end up with Malik Neighbors, Kool-Aid McKinstry, and Fatanu, that's a elite first round draft right there.
So the Bills have been talked about trading into the top 10, trading into the top 5, trying to get a receiver. The reality is that if they can stay put at 28 and get A.D. Mitchell, they just did great in the first round. I think
Now-
that
He's not a guy that's going to come out of the gate being just a for sure number one guy like the top three.
agreed, like Brian Thomas or the other top 3.
But you avoid giving up an absolute haul for the guy. And
Exactly.
he fell to you there. You can still kind of build around him. And honestly,
where-
we've seen Josh, he thrives better when he doesn't have to target one guy 10 times.
Yes, agreed.
Just give
I
him
could
an
s-
athlete like AD Mitchell burning down the sideline.
The other pick I would like them getting is Troy Franklin. I think that's a
Yeah.
day one starter for them. Like,
I just
plug and
think
play.
A.D. Mitchell having the size and the speed makes him a little
He
bit more
gives
of a
you more
threat.
of the red zone opportunities as well. Like we
I
saw
just-
it with AD
I
Mitchell
just
in
think,
the college football playoffs.
Troy Franklin's definitely more well-rounded. Pretty much to sum it up.
Okay. So,
right.
Justin, on the clock. with
I'm on the
Lions.
board. The Lions at number 29 here. And not this could be a spot for Zach Frazier. You've got Mike Sanders on the board. But what I am going to do here is I think this starts becoming the prime position where teams start looking at fifth-year options. And where the Raiders went Terry and Arnold in the first with their number 13, they are going to trade up here. And let me go ahead and find them on my list. There we go. Raiders are going to trade 44, 112, and then probably like a second rounder, whatever, for next year. Could even end up being 77, but that's in the third round. We don't care about that. For 29, we're going to go ahead and force this baby. So Raiders are coming up right here. And Raiders are going to go ahead and pull the trigger on Bo Nix.
Nice.
I think Michael Penix probably would be a little more of the flavor, but I just like Bo Nix's like versatility. He gives you some ability with his legs. He is the more accurate quarterback by all standards. He was the most accurate quarterback in college football last year with almost a 77% completion percentage. Devontae Adams is going to love that. Jacoby Myers is going to love that. So Raiders move up here. They get the fifth-year option at the end of the first round.
Love it.
Ravens are on the board for you there, Austin, at number 30.
Shoot, this is a Troy Franklin pick if I've ever seen it.
I like
Like,
that.
that's a nice home for them, for him.
I hate
I
that
like
PFF
that.
still
I like
has
that
him at
pick.
6'3". I hate that they have him at 6'3" still. Like the guy's like 6'1" and 3/4. That's not 6'3", but Troy Franklin is going to
He
absolutely
plays at
help.
6'3".
Okay, heard. You know from way up there. You know what it's like.
Yes, sir. Of course.
Justin, you
Who's
just jumped off camera.
who's got the
Okay.
who's got the
No,
Niners?
we're good. All right, 49ers on the board at 31.
So
You,
there
coach?
are a couple
Well, you-
teams trying to trade up into the first here. I honestly don't like any of them. I think that this is another opportunity for like a Michael Penix to go, and we know that Denver absolutely has a need at quarterback.
I was going to say it's either Denver or the Giants would be a spicy trade up team here.
I honestly think the Giants are gonna ride with Danny Dimes. I think that they've been talking all this mess to try
One
to
more
get.
season with Danny Dimes.
They have to. I mean, they're paying him so much money. So I think
And
that all
especially
the
in a
talk
year
is
where
just
you're
to
on
get
the
them to come up.
outside, not being able to solidify yourself into one of those top 3 guys or being able to take the exact quarterback you want, teams always get into trouble when they try to force themselves into a new quarterback. So I do read what you're saying. So the Broncos making the trade?
They're probably going to have to trade a second or a first round for next year because they don't even have a second round pick. Their next pick is at 76. But yeah, the Broncos are going to trade up. They need the quarterback help right now. And I think that the closest thing to Drew Brees that we can have in this draft is Michael Penix.
Let's
I
see.
think
When
that
did the Broncos pick again?
76 and 121.
Oh, shit. Yeah, they would have to trade out.
They'll probably have to trade a second from next year, but we're not going to worry about what they're trading. They're trading up for 31 right here to go ahead and take their quarterback of the future. Honestly, their quarterback of the present. They don't have a quarterback right now, and they're not trying to wait for Spencer Rattler or Michael Pratt or Jordan Travis way back in 167. They need someone to start right away. And with Bo Nix and Michael Penix both having the amount of experience they have, Michael Penix is still there. They're going to take the pick on him as soon as they can.
I like it. And again, it gives you the 5th round option. Like with them not having a second rounder, they would have to give up a solid haul. But the 49ers are a team as well to where they might be okay pushing picks over till next year.
Michael
Because if
Penix
they
will be 28 or 29 by the time he hits his 5th-year option. You'll know at that point if he's total garbage and not worth it for you, or if he's going to be the guy you're going to pay the big salary to.
Yeah, I agree. So with the Chiefs on the board here at 32, we're going to round out the first round. Hey, if you're still with us at this point, we fucking love you. Thank you for being here with us. Subscribe, hit that notification bell. TulsiRoseTea.com is the sponsor. This pick for me is super easy, especially with the Rashee Rice stuff going on, and you don't know what's happening there. With all of the wide receivers that are gone here, I still love his game, and I love just the solid, well-rounded receiver he is. We're taking Ladd McConkey here right at the end of the first round.
Boom. Lead route runner.
You just want Ladd McConkey to be a first-round pick so bad, bro. I know that why you like
He
him
would have
so
gone
much.
at 33 right here.
Yeah, you're probably right. I still think that honestly, I've changed my opinion a little bit on Ricky Pearsall. I think he's a little bit more of like he's got the speed, he's a red zone threat. He just seems like a total baller. And if I'm gonna take an older receiver like Ladd McConkey, I think I'd take Keon Coleman or Ricky Pearsall over it. But not gonna complain too much. Saying that,
I agree.
I think that we got a lot of needs for the Panthers. A lot of needs.
Say.
And I think that the biggest one is probably going to be trying to keep Bryce Young from having to run around like a chicken with his head cut off. Zach Frazier being here, it's a little bit of a reach based off of ADP, but I think that he's
That's not too bad.
total beast of a player. It helps to shore up their position a little bit, and they get to pick again at 39. So one of these next 4 receivers is still going to be there. So we're going to go ahead and take Zach Frazier right now.
Yeah, whoever's getting him is getting a solid
No
pick.
faith in Austin Corbett?
No.
No. No.
I mean, the big thing is like Zach Frazier's going to be versatile enough to play in whatever position he needs to. We've talked before about him being a wrestler, being a big benefit. He's a gritty offensive lineman that you need, and we need to keep Bryce Young from having to run around. If he can stand back there and make some plays, he's going to be able to succeed as a player. I think that starting with his offensive line instead of his skill positions is more beneficial for his development.
So I think you skipped and took Austin's pick there. I think because I went 40 or Chiefs and then
You're right, I did.
So it's okay. We're just gonna Austin. You're gonna
I
go
love that
ahead and
pick, though.
flip flop with them, and you're gonna take the Rams here at 34. Now the Rams are picking here because the Patriots traded up with them to 19 for Brian Thomas Jr. So who do you got here for the Rams at 34? Needs basically at every level of the defense and probably could use an offensive tackle.
Yeah, I was looking at offensive tackle for them.
Jordan Morgan, Tyler Guyton
Yeah,
really are the only guys that in that range. Peyton Wilson at linebacker, he's a freaking stud.
Yeah.
yeah. One of the only few ones in this draft. I would
Agreed.
probably go Jordan Morgan out of Arizona.
I like the pick. Now the Rams are a team to where
Almost
I don't
nothing.
think you never really know what they're gonna do because there's like when you watch videos of their in draft rooms, they're so centered around like personal relationship with these players as well, like the little things that they see in these guys. So for me, I love the pick. Very well, this could be a random off the wall. Tyler Nubin could go here for all we know. It's not listed as a need, but they may love the guy.
I honestly think
I
it's
love
a
the
little
pick
bit
there.
funny that I didn't realize even that I traded out with the Rams, that now they've got another year without a first round pick. Like at least this time they didn't trade it.
Oh my gosh, that would be Rams Twitter would be hilarious. Like we finally had one and we traded out. What the hell?
I mean, they got more assets though, and they traded to 34. Like, and get
all
the
about
tackle
that
that they
ass.
want. That would be phenomenal.
That's hilarious. All right,
So
so,
you're on the clock.
I've got the Cardinals at 35 here. I think I've made almost every pick for the Cardinals at this point. All right, so we've got Malik Neighbors, we've got Troy Fatanu, we've got Kool-Aid
Kool-Aid
McKinstry.
McKinstry.
We're knocking off needs left and right here. So at this point for me, I think you're just starting to look at more, hey, who can be a potential game wrecker for our team? And at that point, I'm leading Chop Robinson.
I knew you were going to say that.
Adisa Isaac is here for us, but Chop Robinson's athleticism there, my God. And the way you crushed the first round, like this is just a cherry on top
You
of your
got
draft.
Chop
Like,
in the beginning
honestly,
of the second.
at this point, the rest of your draft truly does not matter to me. Like,
Yeah. You
I'm
have so
good
many
with it.
playmakers.
Yeah. So you've got Eagles on the clock at 36. They're here because they traded up or
Traded
traded
back
back with
with Washington.
Washington coming up for Graham Barton.
So, Austin, you're on the clock.
Or Austin, yes, this is you again, so we can get back in our rotation.
Let's see. They kind of need. Oh, this. If it is personally, I'd just be going Keon Coleman here to Washington. This
You mean to the Philly? Philadelphia's on the clock.
okay, yeah. No, they don't need another wide receiver.
I don't know why wide receivers listed as a need. I guess
They literally
rumblings
have
that
two top 20.
AJ Brown might be wanting out, but I don't know, dude. Like to me, it's not a need as far as like the top of the draft. Maybe later.
Yeah.
But then again, when you do look at their
okay.
needs
No,
and
no,
you're
no,
looking
no,
at
no.
corner, you got
we're
Mike
going-
Sanderstill, you got Enos Rakestraw, TJ Tampa. I mean, wide receiver as far as like board wise go, like my rankings and stuff, wide receivers are the higher rank here. You got for the Eagles, Keon Coleman, Roman Wilson, I think would fit into that offense nicely.
I think Peyton Wilson is my
yeah.
highest ranked player right now.
Yeah, I'd be going Peyton Wilson for them.
He's just a total beast
Nice
at
linebacker.
linebacker. He's the only one in the draft, like Austin said a little bit ago.
At least
to
going
show
this
he
high
was
for
there.
sure. So Peyton Wilson to
Yeah.
the Eagles.
So just to recap, at 9, the Chargers got Brock Bowers, and then they haven't taken another player so far, and they really don't have any wide receivers on their team besides Palmer and like these guys. Like they let all of their receivers go. I think a guy like Keon Coleman is a big body target. He's able to give them value right away. If there were more Tyler Guyton's interesting for them. We didn't take a tackle. I thought we like
The Chargers? No,
Yeah.
we took Brock Bowers.
yeah.
Yeah.
So Tyler Guyton here for the Chargers at 37.
Yeah, I'm gonna change my tune. We're gonna go Tyler Guyton. I think that he is definitely very much a Harbaugh type of guy. 6'7", 327. Just like absolute beast. You get him at the top of the second round after getting Brock Bowers. You already have your offensive playmaker. It's time to get some help on that offensive line, and all you really need is a right tackle, and that line is totally set. So this guy can absolutely at least push, the guy that's there right now. So Titans are on the clock at 38.
All right, so Tennessee Titans in the first round, they were able to stay put at number 7 and take Joe Alt, by far the best offensive tackle in this draft. Just pull up his grades; it's freaking nuts. So we got that. Now we shift over here. Yes, we brought in Calvin Ridley. Yes, we have DeAndre Hopkins. Yes, we've got, Traylon Burks that we took last year. So we've got those guys. Traylon Burks is still kind of a question mark. DeAndre Hopkins is getting up there a little bit in age. So we could be looking at wide receiver here. DB, I like the guys that are on the board, and looking at their team right now, as far as their team needs, they brought in L'Jarius Sneed and they brought in Chidobe Awuzie. I don't think they're going to look corner here. Might be a little rich for safety. However, I'm looking at their safeties here, and you've got Elijah Molden, you've got Amani Hooker, there. Their team, to me, I mean, they really don't have any glaring needs, so I'm going Adisa Isaac here at edge. I'm taking the edge out of Penn State. I'm just going to get him a playmaker. You got your offensive line on one side, defensive line on the other. Let's just go ahead and build it up from the trenches. Anything else could have fit, but I felt like maybe was a little reach there. So I like the pick there with Adisa Isaac going to Penn State.
Fresh
Or going to
organization.
Tennessee.
Like we said earlier, building within the trenches first is very, very key. You're going to have to do it often and hit on it. So, Austin, you got the Panthers on the clock. They traded back with the Giants. They made a trade with the Giants last year so they're on at 39.
Yep.
Who did
All
you
right,
pick for
so-
them first? Center, Zach Frazier.
Yep, Zach Frazier at 33, and then they still got their pick of wide receivers here as well.
Yeah. Man. I kind of like Mike Sandstorm. I just think that's a solid player that you can pick up to help your team out.
They
Like,
definitely
a
have the need
playmaker.
at corner. Sandstrom plays a lot of the slot corner role.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of slot corner.
Where you've got J.C. Horn and Dane Jackson, and then right now Troy Hill that they brought in is listed as your slot corner. I'm not mad at bringing in extra help there because I wouldn't be shocked to see Sanderstill take over for Troy Hill.
So that's what we're going to do.
Is our
All right. The trigger
All right.
has been pulled.
You've got Washington on the clock at 40.
So earlier for Washington, we took Graham Barton and Drake May. So their offensive line has started to get short up a little bit. They still need defensive back help. They need edge help. Looking at the corners, the safeties, and the edges that are available. Next edge off the board is going to be Jonah Ellis. It's a little bit rich for him. I think, honestly, with Sanistril just going, Tyler Newbin is a complete beast. We've been getting a lot of flack in the comments for taking Tyler Nubin on day 2. People are
Dude,
saying,
that's because people are looking too deep into RAS scores, bro. Like,
Yeah.
go pull up Brent Grimes's RAS score and tell me that he still wasn't a baller in the league. Like,
Yeah.
I understand it gives you an idea on what kind of athlete they are and stuff, but there's certain things you cannot measure with the RAS, and that's the dog inside of them. That's the willing to play through injuries. That's the team leader they are, the locker room commodity. Like, those are the things that, yeah, you can come at me about their athleticism. Tyler Nubin is a baller.
he is a
Those are
baller.
some of the most important aspects.
And the dude played every single game of his whole career. He only improved every year, and this past year was by far his best year.
And they brought in Jeremy Chin this offseason, but for me, like, I think he takes over for Derek Forrest there, and you just have two ballers at safety. I love it going
That's
Tyler Nubin here.
that's what we're
Corner
doing.
probably could have been done, but you just take the best DB on the board at that point.
Exactly. And taking Enos Rakestraw at this point, TJ Tampa, Kamari Lassiter, it's a little bit early, and I think Tyler Nubin is just. There haven't been a lot of safeties that have been taken at this point. I think Cooper DeJean might be the only one off of the board. So to get the second best safety at this point, in the draft, it's very important to get best player available early in the game like this. Now Packers are on the clock right now. What you got, Justin?
So Packers, we got hammered for taking Tyler Nubin for them because people absolutely hated that. We don't need Tyler Nubin. Well, he fits well with Xavier McKinney, so you kind of do. And with Cooper DeJean being off the board here, we took Talisi Fuaga in the first round for him at offensive tackle. Their defense, to me, overall, still needs help. They're set at wide receiver. I think you're good at running back. Obviously, your quarterback's fine. Interior O-line is a position that I was looking at for him. Still rich for Christian Haynes and Cooper Beebe here. For me, it might be a slight reach, but I'm going Braden Fisk.
Heard.
It's somebody, as a Dolphins fan, I was hoping maybe would drop a little bit for a possible trade up, but it almost makes too much sense for me. Like, you're up there in the north. All your athletes are pretty much set except for maybe linebacker, safety, and corner, but I wasn't feeling corner here. I like Braden Fisk. I think he fits the Packers a little better overall as an organization. Just a bully of a man. Like, get him on the inside there, let him work. Houston on the clock at 42 for you, Austin.
Yeah, I was looking at Braden Fisk for them. Another guy I liked was Enos Rakestraw.
This is Houston's first pick here
First pick
after
in the
trading
draft.
23 to the Vikings.
They're definitely a team I see building up on that defense. Like, the offense is. I mean, they've done so much. They put so much work into it already.
Agreed.
It's kind of a little bit of a reach, but I really like Chris Jenkins here. Defense interior. Out of Michigan.
I think it's worth it to reach a little bit for them to get the guy that they want instead of. I mean, they could try to trade back here. They've got a couple teams willing to trade up, like Philly, the Rams, and the Baltimore Ravens, which would be a little bit closer to Chris Jenkins's ADP.
Yeah, I mean, they brought in Fadukasi from the Jaguars this offseason. Then they also brought in
So-
Danico Autry.
Give me the Houston trading with the Cowboys.
Cowboys coming up again.
No, they
Or
didn't.
no,
come
you
up
didn't
last
have them
time.
trade.
It was a little
Yeah,
false
you bailed
alarm.
out of it last time.
Yeah.
All right, so Cowboys coming up here.
Yeah.
All right.
So we'll just force the trade. It doesn't matter what they trade for. We know that they're coming up to from 56.
Yep.
To 42.
Yep.
Yeah, so nothing else matters. We're not going to play with it. So Cowboys on the board here. Who are the Cowboys taking at 42?
Got to go with Keon Coleman here. Best wide receiver left on the board. I think they, depending on how the draft goes, they'll be trading up for their guy. And
I think he fits well with CD and Brandon Cooks.
Yeah.
If they want to wait, I
Huge
could
red
see them
zone
getting
threat.
Xavier Leggett, but Keon Coleman just is a nice compliment.
He's still one of
So,
the
yeah.
top guys on the board, so to trade up for him, it makes a lot of sense. You're trading for 42 from 59. It's not going to take that much asset to do it either. So
Yep.
we've got the
So-
Falcons on the clock now.
Took Quinyon Mitchell in the first round for him at number 11 after a little trade back there. So we've got 43 here. We took corner and defensive line, really their only other need. So at this point, it's really just kind of pick who you think they need. And looking at their team here so far, let's pull them up. Safety is maybe a possibility. Linebacker, something to look at. We took corner, so we're okay there. Not going back to back. Wide receiver. I mean, they brought in Mooney and Rondale Moore, so it might not necessarily be something they're looking at. Edge, to me, would be, because we went corner, I'd be looking at edge.
I think it's a little bit rich to go edge right now. They're actually going to trade back.
It is based on these ranks, but I do like Jonah Ellis and Chris Braswell. Now, a trade back would make sense as well.
Indianapolis is going to trade up right now. Actually, no. I like the Jacksonville trade up more. We're just going to force the trade for 66. And Jacksonville has a little bit more need on like the cornerback side, so they're going to take we didn't take a corner for them early, did we?
Nope, we took for Jackson.
Nate Wiggins. We did.
Yeah, we did. We took Nate Wiggins.
Do you have their lineup pulled up?
The Jags,
Yeah.
let's see.
What's their other corner look like? Like, who are their starters right now? Or anybody?
They've got Tyson Campbell. He's still kind of young, solid, not too bad. They brought in Ronald Darby.
And what about safety?
Okay, safety, they've got Andre Cisco, and they've also got Antonio Johnson, who they just drafted last year.
Would you say there's a need at safety?
No, not necessarily. They're both young and solid.
Okay.
Defensive interiors, probably somewhere maybe you could look. Right tackle, but Anton Harrison got drafted last year, so they're not looking at replacing him. Wide receiver is somewhere that maybe I would look. Because, I mean, they brought in Gabe Davis. You've got Christian Kirk. You've got Zay Jones. But we've seen between Kirk and Zay Jones, one of them are going to miss time.
Between Roman Wilson and Ricky Pearsall, I've kind of been leaning Ricky Pearsall as of late.
Hey, Jacksonville from Florida Gators to Jacksonville, that's just a short trip over.
Yeah. Roman plays a lot in the
lot of the slot. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so does Ricky. Yeah, I think
Well,
Ricky's a little bit more versatile to be able to move him around, and then they already have, like you said. Yeah, I think Ricky on this one gives him a little bit of a red zone target as well, comparatively. Yeah, we're gonna trade him up. It's not very many picks that they're trading up in the first place, but just to go ahead and get their receiver, I like Ricky Pearsall. He's a little bit older, but very solid guy, and to get him at this point in the second is a little bit of a steal.
Yep, and for the Lions at 44 makes it real easy for me. They traded back here after allowing Vegas to come up and take Bo Nix at 29, and sitting here for him, just staring him in the face, Enos Rakestraw Jr., going ahead and pulling the trigger on that. Love that pick for him. That was a popular pick for him at 29 in early mock drafts, and they're able to get him here at 44 after a trade back. So love that pick for him there. And Austin, you're on the board at 45 with the Saints.
The Saints. Yeah, they need a spark. They need a little spicy pick. I think Jalen Polk is a nasty receiver that is kind of getting slept on in this draft.
He's a great run blocker.
Yeah.
I love Jalen Polk's game.
Yeah, he's a big body receiver.
Almost 1,200 yards and 9 touchdowns playing on the same team as Roma Dunze is.
Mm-hmm. And Jalen McMillan.
And Jalen
like
McMillan,
three solid wide receivers on that roster there.
Yeah, when I was watching the games in the year, I thought he was the better receiver, to be honest. Like over Odunze. When you watch him, like game speed, like he's just elite.
So we're going Jalen Polk here at 45 for the Saints.
Yes, sir.
I like it. All right. So the Saints traded up earlier and went Latu, then they went Polk in the second round. I like that for him here. Colts back on the board here for us at 46. We just had them trade back, didn't we? No, this is their original pick.
That was Atlanta.
In the first round, we took Cooper DeJean, and I think for the Colts here, they probably would have liked it, maybe a Keon Coleman or somebody like that fall in here, but
They do have their need at wide receiver. I'm on the clock.
They do have the need of wide receiver. You are on the clock because I was ready to go ahead and pull TJ Tampa, but
So you're thinking that they need two because they've already got Cooper DeJean. I mean, how bad is their cornerback room?
that is true. I did just say they took
They still
Cooper
have
DeJean.
more, don't
Hey,
they?
look at me not paying attention. So no, yeah, you're completely right. I think shifting over to wide receiver for him with Roman Wilson or Xavier Leggett would.
Because of Xavier Leggett being the bigger body guy and them already having Josh Downs, I think that they go Xavier Leggett here. They get a real playmaker. It's a little bit early for him, but not too much that it's not worth it for them to take him. And he's going to play really, really well on the opposite side of Michael Pittman.
Willie.
So Xavier Leggett off the board. I think Roman Wilson's falling a little bit for us more than he might fall during the draft. He is a baller. He's just a little bit undersized, 6'3", total playmaker in the open field that Xavier Leggett is. I think that he comps better for Indy.
Yeah, 100%.
So
I do think
we went Leggett for the Colts.
Leggett for the Colts.
All right, so Giants now. We're on the board, and we went Roma Dunze in the first round, so we got our wide receiver here. We just punted on everything to have to do with quarterback for this draft. Definite need for him at DB. Now, let's go ahead and get their team pulled up just so that way we're making correct picks for everybody, and we don't get yelled at. All right, and... man, oh man, do they need help at cornerback. They need so much help at cornerback. And yeah, TJ Tampa's coming off the board with the quickness here. With the quickness. I don't even have to think about it.
100%.
We don't even have to talk about it. You went Roma Dunze and then TJ Tampa. We're just getting playmakers out here. You absolutely need help in the defensive backfield. Like, maybe could have helped out in the defensive interior a little bit, but their defensive line is freaking insane. So you're okay there in my mind. Offensive line, maybe, but I don't like what's here for you at this point. And barring a trade back, you're just going to take the best guy on the board. Go ahead and take TJ Tampa. Falcons on the clock here at 48 for you, Austin.
So Falcons took Kenyon Mitchell, and that's it that they've
had him
so far. They traded back.
Yeah, you had it. Jacksonville trade back. So yeah, we got Quinyon Mitchell. They've got needs on the defensive line.
And I think that none of the defensive linemen have gone since the Ricky Pearsall trade back. So like both of the guys that they would have wanted are here. They get to get some more picks.
Would be Chris Jenkins.
Michigan. Love that.
He falls on a good spot.
Grady Jarrett's not getting any younger for him. Neither is David Onyemata. So, yeah, I mean, Chris Jenkins, or it would have been a reach on one of the edge guys there, but I'm not mad at it. Chris Jenkins is a baller.
Yeah.
So Bengals took
J.C. Latham. Helping out the defense.
They took J.C. Latham with their first round pick. Defensive interior went one pick before them, so they would have absolutely loved to have been able to get Chris Jenkins. What's their edge look like, Justin?
All right, we're getting the edge pulled up for the Bengals right now. They have Trey Hendrickson and
Hubbard.
Sam Hubbard. Now, Hubbard drafted in 2018, Hendrickson drafted in 2017. So,
Jatavian Sanders doesn't.
They do need help at corner.
Jatavian Sanders doesn't look like Brock Bowers, but he does look like a solid playmaker for them. They have a decent need at tight end. They don't really have a solid one on the roster. He's still sitting here right around his rank in ADP, I think this is a good time for him to go, and I think the Bengals are the perfect team to take him. So we're going to go ahead and pull the trigger on Jatavian Sanders.
Tavian
Like
Sanders at 49 for the jungle.
Welcome to the jungle. We've got fun and games.
Eagles are on the
Got
clock.
everything you want. You know we're going insane. Fly,
You're
Eagles,
muted.
Fly.
My bad, guys. Hey, I've got the Eagles sitting at pick 50. Now, what did we do for him earlier? We went Peyton Wilson at pick number 36, and that was after trading back because they traded back with Washington. All right.
Yes.
And then they traded back again with New Orleans. Here we go. This is getting wild. Anyways, pick number 50 for the Eagles.
Oh, this is.
We're going to
where he
get them
goes.
pulled up before I make this pick because for me, this is like another no-brainer.
This is.
I mean, we went Peyton Wilson and we're looking at their team and
They need a little wide receiver.
they could use wide receiver help. They really
They
could.
could use
They
a slot
drafted a
receiver.
safety last year.
Yeah.
And they've got Reed Blankenship. They could use a slot wide receiver, but
I think it's.
I don't care what anybody tells me. I think their corners still need help. So does their
yeah.
I mean,
safeties.
they don't have their starting corners
There's a
by
couple of good
halfway
safeties
through
on
the
the board
season
still.
every year for the last 3 years. Like they definitely
Yeah,
need corner help.
and so when you pull up DBs here with corner and safety, I mean, I love Javon Bullard on the board here for him. They
sir.
love Georgia players. That's where
Yes,
I'm
they
going.
do.
I'm going Javon Bullard.
Alrighty. Javon Bullard.
So Austin,
to
you're on the
the
clock.
Eagles.
Jay-Z Newton went 20 to the Steelers, and they haven't picked since. What do you have him doing
Okay.
at 51?
Oh, coach is foaming at the mouth that Roman Wilson just fell to him. He just snagged up a solid receiver. You just got rid of Deontay Johnson. This is a Deontay Johnson comp if I've ever seen one.
I like that a lot.
So yeah, Roman Wilson just fell to the Steelers.
I like that a lot. You've mentioned him like the last 7 picks, so you've been just waiting to pull the trigger on him. I get you too, though. It does. He works well. He's a good fit with George Pickens. You can just let George Pickens take off down the side, let Roman do everything underneath. You've still got your badass tight end, so you're okay there. And so, Coach, you're on the clock here at 52 with the Rams.
The Rams have only taken tackle so far, right?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. They took Tyler Guyton. No. Sorry. Jordan Morgan
Arizona
at 34. I think that edge is probably a massive, massive need for them, and Jonah Ellis is still sitting here. We're going to look at what else is there at edge before we pull the trigger. Chris Braswell is there too. I like Chris
I
Braswell
love
a
Chris
lot.
Braswell.
Yeah.
I
That's
thought
actually
Jonah Ellis went off the board already.
Jonah Ellis has not gone yet.
Nope.
Okay.
No, we haven't gone edge in a minute.
Yeah. We're going to go Chris Braswell right here. It's a little bit early, but not too much. It's like right in their wheelhouse. I love him. I think him and Dallas Turner being on the same field might have hurt him a little bit. And without that, I mean, the guy's still a total baller. So Eagles are on the clock at 53.
All right, so Eagles on the clock here again after going Javon Bullard, and they went with Peyton Wilson, so they've gone defense. Now at this point, they might start to shift over and look at a little bit of offense. You've got Malachi Corley, you've got Jermaine Burton, you've got Xavier Worthy, you've got Devontae Walker. And I think with Xavier Worthy being on the board here is an absolute steal for him. We've talked about how wide receiver, it's not their top need, but this is your 3rd pick in the first 2 rounds now. And Xavier Worthy with his game-breaking speed is still sitting there for you. Yeah, we're just going to go ahead and pull the trigger on that and just get a playmaker there. Gives you a young guy. That way, if AJ does decide to leave at some point, you're good there. He allows Devontae Smith to work underneath a little more. Same with AJ Brown, get more possession catches. Moving on, Brown's at 54 for you, Austin.
First pick of the draft for the Browns.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
And pretty much all of their needs have been taken.
Yeah.
there's
I mean, Edgerrin Cooper's still there at linebacker. Very solid grades, especially this last year has improved a lot in his career. Stays healthy for the most part. Obviously, they would have preferred a Peyton Wilson, but what are you thinking, Austin?
They definitely need some defense interior linemen, some big boys in the trenches. They honestly could use a running back, like a new running back. But
I mean, they got Jerome Ford. Jerome
a-
Ford looked very solid last year after Chubb went down, and Chubb's going to be back by the time the season starts. He just likely won't look the same ever again.
I mean, if they're gonna stay in this position, I could see him going Junior Colson out of Michigan. That'd be like the next solid best linebacker coming off the board.
Over Edrin Cooper out of Texas A&M.
Yeah,
Okay.
this man's a beast. I like Junior Colson.
I think this might be the fourth Michigan player that you've picked.
And
Hey,
I was
man.
gonna say, and that has nothing to do with the helmet he wore in college, correct?
No.
I'm not
This
even
is-
like. There's a lot of good Michigan players at the top of the draft, but I'm pretty sure you've
No,
taken all
because-
of them because
yeah,
you took
there's a
Roman
reason.
Wilson just now.
There's a reason they're national champions.
I
Let's get
love
that
Junior
straight.
Colson, but when you compare him to Edgerrin Cooper and the pass rushing ability Edgerrin Cooper gives you, man.
Who's got a
But-
ring?
Okay.
Who's got a ring and who don't?
All right.
Oh, wow. All right. So that's all that matters.
Championship
Got it.
mentality.
So Junior Colson goes 54. So Dolphins are on the clock. Dolphins went with Byron Murphy in the first round. So defensive interiors taken up for him. Looking at O-line.
Aaron Amagachi from Yale, bro.
Yeah.
He only played 4 games last year, so that's, I think, what's helping push him down the board a little bit here. But
Also,
I mean,
Christian
6'5", 318. He just turned 22, so he's still a little young. I'm looking at him. I'm looking at our guy Christian Haynes, and then honestly, like, since I just brought it up as well, like, I know it's not listed as a major need, but Edgerrin Cooper, like, that just gives Anthony Weaver another little chess piece for his defense there. Kind of like that pick.
Yeah, you guys have
But
Chubb,
it's
right?
so hard to go through the
Yeah,
first 2
Brandon
picks
Chubb.
and pass on offensive line when
Yeah.
we as Dolphin fans know the need there.
You
Especially
have Brandon
Teron
Chubb, right?
Armstead,
Who?
Bradley Chubb.
Yeah,
Bradley
we got
Chubb?
we got Chubb and Phillips there still. We brought in Shaq Barrett, so edge necessarily
Some
is
older
really
dudes
the
with
the need.
The young Phillips.
Yeah, edge isn't really necessarily the need, but inside linebacker, I mean, we've got David Long and they signed Anthony Walker Jr. Like you're helping some depth there. Edgerrin Cooper would be awesome, but
We have
my
to go
heart will
Kieran.
not let me. Yeah, my heart will not let me go away from offensive line.
Yeah,
and it's either Kieran or it's Christian Haynes.
I think
But
we're going to
Kieran-
go Kieran because of the tackle. We know that Teron Armstead's not playing every snap. Like it's a foregone conclusion that he's going to get hurt at some point, and we need somebody to be able to come in. We don't really have anybody for that at this point. I think Christian Haynes is very versatile.
In 2021, Kieran did start at guard as well. He started at left guard, so he has guard experience.
Yeah.
There's a little versatility for you there. I think it's the smart pick. Like, just it's not sexy. Just pull the trigger, and you know it makes your team better.
So that's what we're doing. If you guys are still here listening, we really appreciate all of the support. At 500 subscribers, we're going to give a jersey of your choice from the NFL shop away for free to one of our 500 subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed, please click the subscribe button. You're on the clock, Austin, or Justin. Houston.
I'm on the clock.
Yeah.
Houston's on the clock here. And for Houston, is this our first pick for Houston? It can't be,
Yeah,
can it?
No.
they traded back with Dallas.
We traded
They
back.
did,
So
yeah.
they traded their first, and then they traded back again.
Yeah. Accruing those
Wow.
picks.
They're playing
We're
with
just
house money, man.
Accruing the picks right now. So let me go ahead and get Houston pulled up for all the fellas. So their biggest needs are wide receiver, defensive interior, linebacker, corner. And
Wide
I mean,
receiver, not anymore.
we've been saying it, and I think it's really easy for me here. I'm going Edgerrin Cooper.
Nice. I like that a lot.
We're gonna keep him in Texas. D'Amico Ryans, as a linebacker when he played, like I think you just get somebody else in there. You're building up your defense. Your defense is starting to look young. more solid as you go. You traded all the way back multiple times, gained picks this year, gained picks next year, and you were still able to grab Edgerrin Cooper. He's a baller. 56.
I can't believe the Bucks have running back as a need whenever they have Rashad White, and he was like the number 5 running back last year. Like, that's so hilarious to me. There's so few teams that even show it as a need, and they're just one that I don't even view it as a need at all. But Austin, you're on the clock with the Bucks right now.
Yeah, I like them going Christian Haynes here, guard out of Connecticut.
I mean,
Now we went we went JPJ for him in the first round.
what's their guard
They
situation?
need a lot
look
of
like?
they need a lot of help
Let's
there.
see.
They need
So
a
we're
center, they
going
need a
back to
guard.
back interior
They
O
need-
line for them here.
They need the
I
interior.
mean, they do
O-line
need
there.
help.
So,
Like they do need help. Ben
Yeah.
Bredesen and Cody
That's a
Mock.
huge
Now
need for
Cody
them.
Mock was drafted last year in the second round, but you also have the need there at center as well. So I mean,
JPJ is so
well, that's
versatile; he could play
Bucks
either.
fans are
Powers.
absolutely going to hate it, but if that's what you go ahead and pull on him here, I mean,
So
I
Christian
can't
Haynes
argue
off the
with
board.
you.
Christian Haynes off the board.
All right.
yeah, I like them.
So Green Bay, we went Brandon Fisk, and then we went Talisi Fuaga. So we are filling up some of those needs for them.
Trenches, baby.
They still have a need at safety with Jaden Hicks still being on the board.
Now at this value, Jaden Hicks is great.
Yeah. They do kind of need a second corner. If I remember, whenever we did the Green Bay breakdown, they have
they
Jair
do.
Alexander.
Oh, they do.
So between Kamari Lassiter and Jaden Hicks, I kind of want to go Kamari Lassiter.
I agree because I think Hicks and McKinney are too similar in play styles versus where they could kind of offset each other. And I think they would be a team that would look for like Cam Kitchens at some point as well.
I want to say that all the Packers fans hated us taking Kamari Lassiter specifically. But tell me down below what I should have done instead, because that's what I'm doing right here. I think that Jair Alexander is a total lockdown. And if you can get another guy similar in play style to him, that's exactly what you need. And this guy is a straight corner. He doesn't play in the slot. He doesn't go deep. He just mans up other dudes from Georgia. Kamari Lassiter off the board.
Well, for a team like the Packers too, when you've got your wide receiver, like you don't have that elite number one guy, but you've got a great stable of wide receivers.
Absolutely.
You've got your running back now with Jonathan Jacobs. You've drafted two or Josh Jacobs. You drafted 2 tight ends last year. So yeah, we building out the rest of the team to where you need just solid guys. Fuaga, Braden Fisk. Then you come with Kamari Lassiter here. I love it. Absolutely love it.
So you got Houston on the board again.
Again?
Yes.
All right. So we went Edgerrin Cooper for him there. And now let's see here. Let me get Houston pulled back up. Austin's coming in and dipping out. He said, I don't want to listen to Houston's pick again. Get out of here. So
Hey,
I
best
like
team in
Houston's.
Texas. I see what he means.
Whoa,
So
I mean, just
honestly,
fire!
this would have been a spot to where I kind of would have been hoping for a Christian Haynes to fall down just because of, some of the needs they have there at the interior O-line. I don't see the need at all for wide receiver anymore with them getting Diggs, Tank Dell, Nico Collins. You just go ahead and get that off the board. I know Diggs is on a 1-year deal. I don't care.
Doesn't matter.
Kamari.
So for what I'm looking at here, I'm looking at
Lassiter's
defensive.
gone.
I'm looking at defensive interior. I'm looking at corner. I'm looking at interior O-line, offensive tackle, and when I pull all those guys up here, the one that keeps screaming at me because of his athleticism is Brandon Dorless. And so if you can get Edgerrin Cooper, Brandon Dorless, you add that with Danielle Hunter, Will Anderson Jr., you've got Derek Stingley Jr. I love Petrie's game. I love Jimmy Ward's game. Like, your defense is legit at this point. So we're going Brandon Dorless, the defensive tackle from Oregon, athletic freak. Defense is getting built up in the second round here for the Texans.
So Austin, Bills went AD Mitchell stayed put at 28, and now they're picking again at 60. What are you doing?
Ooh, boy.
Say, huh?
They need some defensive help for sure.
Yes, they lost
Their
so much
defense was
from their cornerback.
atrocious.
Honestly, I think this is a great, and I'm not making the pick for you, but I think this is a great spot for Jaden Hicks.
Jaden Hicks.
Like they brought in Mike Edwards from Kansas City, and they've got Taylor Rapp, but I mean,
They lost
think
Jordan Poyer, man. Like, they need to fill
And-
that slot.
and Micah Hyde. Like
Yeah.
I think
no, I
Jaden
love
Hicks is a
Jaden Hicks,
clear
too.
upgrade over both of them. Von Miller's not getting it any younger, so Jonah Ellis or Darius Robinson would be solid. We
Yeah, I was
know
looking
they
at
need
Darius.
wide receiver, so you've got Malachi Corley still sitting on the board here for you. Like, you could go any number of ways here, and I don't think you can miss.
I like out of those three, between Jaden Hicks, Darius Robinson, Malachi Corley.
Now, we did go AD Mitchell, so I don't know if they'd go
Yeah.
back-to-back wide receivers, but
They need it. We know that, but I like Jaden Hicks here for them.
Okay.
I like it.
Yeah, great.
It's
pick
a
for
smart pick.
So we've taken
And
Enos Rakestraw.
He's great value here at the end of the second round.
them. Yeah.
Yeah, we took Enos Rakestraw. That's all we've done for the Lions because they traded out of the first round. So you got your corner. Interior O-line is still kind of a need there for you. An
It's a little
edge
bit
opposite.
early for any of them, though. Cooper Beebe, I love.
Yeah, still a little early for
Why don't you
BB.
marry him?
Honestly, they went Rakestraw. I don't know if they would go another Missouri guy with his teammate and Darius Robinson, but
I think we're gonna go Jonas Ellis. You think? No, let me look. Ooh, Darius Robinson.
Jonah
looks
Ellis
very-
is Jonah Ellis is more of to the stand-up edge, whereas Darius Robinson for me is more of the versatile, put your hand in the dirt. I think you've got Aiden Hutchinson. I think Darius Robinson would
Yeah,
complement him on the other side more.
looking at his grades, looking at the 6'5", 296, just total athletic monster that he's going to be. I think that that's a great pickup for them. His ADP was supposed to be 46, and he ranked 61 too, so it's a little bit late for him to have gone in the first place. I think that this is a great pickup. So Darius Robinson goes to the Motor City for Motor City DC.
Yeah, solid pickup for them.
We got
All
the
right, so
Ravens on the clock.
Is this me on the board?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm on the board here with the Ravens at 62.
I got a juicy, spicy pick for him.
Wide receiver, O-line, edge, corner.
It ain't
So
none of
we
those
took
needs, though.
Troy Franklin in the first round for them, and that's their only pick so far.
Mhm.
All right, let's see here.
They could go a bunch of directions here. I mean, they're a talented team, very talented. The only reason they didn't make it to the Super Bowl is because the Super Bowl champs took them out. Remember that?
Yeah, so we went Troy Franklin. What we're going to do on the other side of this right now is we're going to take Andrew Phillips, the cornerback out of Kentucky.
Okay. He got dog in him. You know he gotta have dog in him. if
His
he's going to the
his
Ravens.
if you just look at his stats and his grades, the guy leaves a lot to be desired there. But when he went to the Senior Bowl, the dude was a dog. He was keeping up with all the top wide receivers there. He was just one of those dudes that was irritating the shit out of everybody. I love his game. And to me, like, this is one of those to where I feel like the player fits the environment. And so what we know Baltimore looks for in their defense, I think this guy slides right in and becomes a chess piece for him. So Andrew Phillips here. Now, San Fran, this is their first pick because we had them trade out of the first round with Denver, and Denver didn't have a second to give them. So Niners fans, please don't hate us for that move. I don't know how much that would actually happen, but hey, Austin, who you got for San Fran here at 63?
Well, I mean, talk about playing with house money. Gotta go O-line for them, right? You could go cornerback here. There's some dudes. We're gonna go Max Melton here for the 49ers. Coming out of Rutgers. I don't know if that's a juicy enough pick for them for their first pick.
Honestly, I don't think Leonard or Jonah Ellis is a bad pick. They brought in Leonard Floyd to be on the opposite side of Bosa.
Oh, there's still some solid tackles on the board though. If they really want to, yeah, got to go with King here.
Kingsley Suamatia.
Yeah, I wasn't even gonna try it. Sumayatata, yeah. Oh yeah, out of BYU, hell yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, Coach, go ahead and round us out here with the Chiefs at 64. What are we doing? They went with Ladd McConkey in the first.
I think that their D-line is definitely their biggest need. I like Marshawn Nealand a lot. Looking at his grades, I mean, he grades out as a phenomenal player.
I love Marshawn Nealand.
Played a lot of outside the tackle. Big enough, like as far as edges go. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do.
Xavier Thomas is 6'3",
275.
6'3", 275. I'd say he's big enough.
Yeah.
All right. So Marshawn Nealand here at 64.
We're going to end the draft at Marshawn Nealand.
Listen, everybody.
No running back.
We appreciate you hanging out. If you stayed with us for this entire hour and a half, we absolutely appreciate. We love you. Share this with your friends. Let them know. 500 subscribers. We're doing a free jersey for everybody. Throw it in the comments how much you hate this draft and how much we royally screwed your team. But if you do, be sure to tell us, who should we have taken in the first place? Give us open the door for a convo. Us with you guys. Come as one. What are we doing on Thursday, guys?
We're doing a live reaction to the draft with
live
you.
Draft
You'll be able
show.
to comment and tell us how stupid we are to our faces.
Live draft show. We're going to be giving grades out as the picks get done, what we thought of them, how we felt about the moves, things like that. We're going to be here the whole draft for you. We love you guys. Outro music's about to hit your ears. Peace out.